Hi, welcome back here on the Senior Network. Neil, we were talking earlier, and I think a lot of people get confused still about the difference of home care and home health.
Okay. Yeah, there's still a misconception today, and the reason I think it is because we use the term home care so general. It's
Sure.
so general.
Yeah.
It's broad, and we'll get calls from people that might see us in the phone book or wherever, maybe a commercial on TV or something like that, and they'll say, you know, my doctor, I just got out of the hospital and I have Medicare. My doctor says that he's going to, write an order and I need 24-hour care when I go home. And the unfortunate part of that is that it doesn't matter if a doctor writes an
Sure.
order, it doesn't matter what happens, Medicare will not cover what we do at all at this point.
Sure.
Now, that may change down the road,
Right.
but as we speak today, typically there's two, so I'll separate the two. There's Medicare certified home health care, which is a doctor referral, and that's typically for someone who has some type of need, change in condition. It could be, and to give you an example, someone breaks a hip.
Yeah.
They go into the hospital, maybe they need rehab for a little bit they've had surgery, then they have rehab, and they go home and the doctor orders home health. And they'll get follow-up physical therapy, maybe occupational therapy, and these therapies are to help this person improve and gain strength and balance and mobility so that they can basically carry on with their everyday activities. Well, that is doctor ordered, so there's a specified period of time that they will have that. And what we do is we come in, and companies like us, we supplement what they're not able to do. They're not able to stay in the home for 6, 8, 10 hours a day, sometimes around the clock,
Sure.
Because Medicare won't pay for it. So companies like ours, we were created mostly to fill in those gaps.
That's supportive care.
That's supportive care, that's correct. And the way those services are paid for typically is through private pay or long-term care insurances.
Yeah.
And a lot of people now are buying the long-term care insurances. I can tell you, I've been here 12 years, as of today, as a matter of fact, 12 years. And in those 12 years, I have seen the number of people that are utilizing those policies go up probably about 75%. It's amazing. So the main differences are, one's doctor ordered, it's based on a medical need, it's based on getting someone back to maybe their previous level of functioning. Sure. It's a very temporary period of time. And then the other, what we do and companies like us do, we are going into that home to provide that supportive care.
And you're working alongside the home health, right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, one of the things that we do, and I really try to promote this when I'm sitting down with a family, say a home health company or a hospice company, for example, has referred to us and said, we'd like you to come in and provide this supportive care. One of the things I highlight is the fact that our caregivers, when the home health company is not there, they might leave an exercise regimen that they can follow, and they want them to complete on the off days. It's really important. We talked about exercise earlier, and it's especially important to continue those exercises when the physical therapist isn't there. So we help provide that. We're not physical therapists, but we can help them do it in a safe manner.
The passive, yeah, exactly.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about, Neil, when you go in or a nurse goes in, how do you decide what that roadmap's going to be? What's the plan of care going to be? How do you come up with that?
Well, with an assessment of their physical needs, their social needs, we even look at spiritual too, just everything that encompasses that person's life. The main thing that we're looking for is, do they live alone? That's one of the other things. If they don't have a spouse, or say an adult child who lives with them or even close by, we know that person typically, if the need is pretty great from a physical standpoint, we know right away they're going to need some pretty heavy care in the home at least to keep them in their home independently. If they do have a spouse, you also have to look at providing that spouse with the respite care that they need. Yeah. And what respite care is, we use that word a lot in this industry, but it's just the person needs a break is basically what it is. They need a break mentally and physically sometimes.
The family caregiver.
The family caregiver,
right.
That's exactly right. So we look at all of that, but we also take into account what resources they have available. Not everyone that we talk to can afford private care.
Sure.
We understand that. So we may get a referral and they may say, well, I can't pay this X number of dollars per hour that these home care companies are asking. Well, there are other options out there. Stephanie, you and I work with some of these resources, like the Lowcountry Council of Aging. There's some grants that people can get, they have access to. And if they're a veteran, there's a possibility of getting some veterans benefits. So we look at everything that we can to assess their need, and not only what they need. If we come up with, say, maybe 6 or 8 hours would get you through your day, what can they afford as well?
Sure.
And so we look at the entire picture.
And in the big picture, just so folks do know, this market and industry, home care, is typically less than, what, $25 an hour, right?
That's correct.
And if you really
Yeah.
look at that, there's a lot of care that goes into them being for that just $25 in that hour.
It does.
It does.
It does. It can, and when we look at care, it's not just the physical care. It's a number of other things that we can do. We can prepare meals. We can help people with a little light housekeeping, transportation. We talked about that earlier as a need in this community that's very deficient. We really need a lot more of that, and our caregivers are able to do that for the clients. And I'm not talking about just physician appointments. I mean, literally taking them to get their hair done, taking them to go see someone, just to go socialize and visit. We want them to be as independent as they possibly can be.
And I know you take a lot of time, too, on the other side of that at trying to make sure that the right caregiver is put in place for that family.
That's really important. Out of the time I've been here right at home and just in the industry of home care, the most important part of our process is finding the match of the caregiver. Yep. I mean, it really comes down to that person typically has never used home care before.
Sure.
They've never had anyone in their home,
Yep.
and that person comes in the home. They need to feel comfortable.
Great
They really
information. Thank you. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Neil, thank you so much. Please take the time to email us any comments, questions you may have, and I want to thank you all for joining us here on the Senior Network, where senior care experts come together. We'll see you the next time.